What's up, everybody? Got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be excited to do this show today because the Bears actually won Sunday. Packers lost too. So many great things. We're doing this in a better mood than we would have if the Bears had lost. But I'm Micah Huff. Hey, Matt Eberflus is the first Bears head coach to win in his first game since Mark Trestman. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great start, but that's it.
Hopefully you don't go down that same path.
Right. First and foremost, RIP P&B Rock, man. We just lost another one of our soldiers in this hip hop game, man. This shit getting like the drug game, man. This shit is crazy out here. People dying for chains and shit. So
yeah, at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles place too. Couldn't even enjoy his meal. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's something that's gun violence in our country is something that is insane. So for all you rappers out there, invest heavily in security.
Hell yeah. You need some top flight security.
Because it's you see that it's happening, it feels like all the time. So
yeah, it's sad to see. Glad you brought that out because we might get into songs of the week, pay him some respects, and talk about some of his great work he put out later in the show. But shit, we got a great show, like I said, for you guys today. We got the only one in America that voted for the Seahawks to win this game today. Julian Huff, we're bringing him on the show today. So he's excited. He's been begging me all week to come on. But so you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Now let's get into it, guys. Got Julian Huff on the show. He's always giving us some great takes, some great hot takes for that. So we're excited to have you on again and hear some of your opinions on some of the shit that's been happening.
I appreciate you having me. I got some takes ready for you.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
Let's hear it.
Let's start off with some college football talk. Scott Frost got fired. This happened right Sunday, right before NFL season started. So what did you think about that?
Well, Scott Frost, my initial reaction is that it's long overdue. We're talking about it. I mean, we're talking about a dude that went 13-0, took UCF to the first, national championship with quotes on it, and then went to Nebraska and just totally stunk up the place. But I mean, me playing against him, obviously everything that he put together didn't work. They got guys that are on NIL deals. They got guys that are 5 stars, and hell, they got the longest streak of sold out games in all of football, NFL, college, high school.
Damn.
That's crazy to think.
And this
Only
is
showing time.
This is a culture of this is one of the biggest football cultures in the Midwest and in all of the American football teams. So they don't mess around with they don't mess around with losing, and that's just what he's been doing. So I don't know why it took so long, but it came to fruition somehow.
Exactly. There's no reason how he's been there long enough to literally know, okay, you are the problem. There's no reason why we should be this bad in one possession games.
In the history of college football, that's the most one possession games to lose by less than one possession or less than 7 points.
I'm saying that shit. We beat him when we were at NIU. I don't know if he was there yet, was he?
It might have been the other dude, Bo Pelini.
Yeah, I think that might have been Bo Pelini. But Bo Pelini was playing. Well, he was winning games. Now he wasn't winning to the caliber that they wanted, but he was winning, and he was a players' coach. I remember the players had a real problem with them firing Bo Pelini. Some of their captains spoke out about it, and it was just it was a mess. So that segueing that into just a bad situation with bringing in a younger coach, a guy that former alumni of Nebraska, it's kind of disappointing. But what are you gonna do? I'm glad he's gone because
it's bad for the Big Ten. All these big ass upsets every year. It seems like
very
Scott Frost is in. I mean,
very bad for the Big Ten, but I'm a Gopher, so I gotta think nothing but optimism towards this season. Where we got Nebraska out of the picture in terms of just mentally, and then we got Wisconsin.
Iowa
losing.
Sucks.
Wisconsin lost.
Iowa rushes for 50 yards in a game.
They had South Dakota State D-line looking amazing. I thought they was playing against Bama.
Man, you already know. I mean, it's crazy what's going on, but I got the Gophers in the Rose Bowl this year, so.
Okay.
We'll see what's happening.
We'll keep the receipts on that one.
Right. We're going to have to clip this one up.
Come on, man.
But now, you think this Nebraska job, you think this is a job a lot of people are going to want? I mean, I've seen Matt Rule, him been a name for it. I mean, the long tradition,
Matt
the wins,
Rule,
selling up, all that stuff.
Urban Meyer might want that job.
Hopefully they don't bring Urban back.
Shit. Hey, motherfuckers, Urban will be welcome with open arms in Nebraska. They don't give a damn. Like Julian said, they got their own ecosystem. Like that's all they have is football out there.
Yeah,
so.
They're top 3 in national championships. They're top 3 in Heisman Trophy winners. They're top 3 in the wins of all time in program history. They're just one of the most historic programs in all of college football. So them coming to the Big Ten, and then you recognize the way that they have, the lack of success that they have had coming into the Big Ten is kind of noteworthy. And then you kind of think about what USC, UCLA, what they're bringing. And they realize that, this shit ain't easy in the Big Ten. I mean,
it's only getting harder.
It is the hardest. We may not have the talent. The Big Ten may not have the talent, but it is the hardest place, the hardest conference to win.
Coldest too.
It's cold, but it's more about culture. You match culture against skill. Culture always wins.
Okay, I like that. Now let's go to another historic program that's possibly their head coach might be under fire. We've been showing through the group chat, Lou Holtz, sending a letter to Marcus Freeman. He probably needs more than a letter from Marcus Freeman. From Lou Holtz. But so what do you think about his situation being 0-3 in his first 3 games? What do you think about Notre Dame? And then losing to Marshall.
Well, it's a problem. It's they're not gonna sit up here and be optimistic about, being 0-3, and then it being, what is it, the first black head coach in program history?
First young black head coach.
Like, I mean, you say what you mean, you think what you want about that, but the naysayers are out, and the jury's out whether or not his job is secure. So we'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, the only way you justify that loss is if Marshall sneaks into the playoff or or makes it to your New Year's Six bowl.
You can turn around and beat a very talented BYU team, which is somebody they have next, which is they're ranked, I think, 12th in the country. And then you got USC. You mess around and beat USC at the end of the year. Then they're ranked, I think, 10th.
They're going to be ranked higher too.
Yeah, you mess around and beat those schools. I mean, you're talking about a turnaround, but you have to recognize that this is still year one. And I know that's a sort of a contentious statement considering the fact that he's just taking over.
Right.
He's just taking over from Brian Kelly. It's not
right.
Yeah, he's promoted as a promotion as opposed to somebody getting fired. But nevertheless, it's still a year one, still a brand new coach. Year one for head coach. I mean, that's just something that you have to recognize. I mean, I'm not trying to give him excuses, but I don't necessarily think that all of the hate is warranted or all the pessimism is warranted.
No, definitely, especially losing his quarterback too. It's
lost the quarterback, but that's not an excuse either because they're losing teams where their third string quarterback would be overqualified.
Come on now, it's no excuse. You got your talent across the board.
Yeah. Fourth string quarterback at Notre Dame is overqualified for Marshall quarterback.
He would break records at Marshall.
Yeah. That's the problem there, but
And then you might even look at it from like Brian Kelly's perspective. He probably was looking at the talent on this roster, and he was probably getting an idea of the transfers he was or wasn't going to get.
So he saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. He saw what
I feel like, he took it to where the highest level they could be with the talent that they're going to get. You know what I'm saying? And if you compare the talent at LSU, the talent pool you're pulling from LSU to Notre Dame, shit is no question.
Well, I mean, speaking of Brian Kelly, I mean, he's probably one of the very few people that I root against now.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because, I mean, I can't really put my finger on it as to why I don't like this dude.
He just doesn't seem genuine, bro.
No, not at all.
Nothing about
doing that little
genuine.
TikTok dance and shit. Oh, for the recruit, bro. You out here dancing for recruits.
Yeah, that was hard to watch.
That's exactly what that is. And then the game they just played, where they just fumbled the bag completely the whole game.
Florida State,
yeah, Florida State week 1.
And you just tell them the excuses they were making. Good coach teams don't make those excuses.
We all saw the press conference. I mean, that kind of, you saw the press conference where he goes and gives the reporters shit for being late.
Yeah.
And they sit up here and be like, well, we'll be on time when you win more. It's like that's a great, if you wrap that up, and that's a great, signal of how this whole situation has been.
Yeah.
No question. And that girl lost her job. I mean, damn, but she was bold.
Yeah, shit. That was a nice comeback.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure she'll find some work somewhere else.
Man.
Now, we talked a little about Marshall upsetting Notre Dame. Which upset in college football this week surprised you the most?
App State. Come on now.
Yeah,
18-point favorite?
What are we talking about now? App State, and they did it again. They did it before, and they did it again. I mean,
they have history doing this shit.
They say history repeats itself. Come on now. 2006, App State went to Michigan and bust their ass. They was number 4th in the nation.
Man, and they were beating them the whole game. Like, this was a very convincing win. Like, they ran the ball at will. They did what they needed to defensively. I mean, damn.
I mean,
it was impressive to watch.
You match up position by position. It didn't seem like there was a major discrepancy between the talent in terms of the size and the speed of the people getting tackled versus the people running the ball.
Mm-hmm. I would say they were undersized, but from the performance, it looked like they was in the SEC too. Shit.
Well, they was playing like they was Alabama.
No question. And that's a team that we think it can compete with Alabama for that SEC West title because they beat them last year, and then all this hype, the offseason drama between Nick Saban
and Jimbo
Fisher. So
for sure,
we thought this, obviously coming in, they're ranked number 6, so we're thinking this is a no-brainer. So the fact that they took it to them the way they did, that's
yeah, and I think that brings up a kind of a larger conversation of just the beauty of football and how you bring 120 people together and you create a team, and you can do whatever you could move mountains with that motherfucking team. It don't matter if you got
make
2 stars
history.
versus 5 stars. You could win if you believe you could win, and them motherfuckers believe they could win.
Believe it through their soul, man.
They moved as one.
But now we talked about college football teams that surprised us this week. The NFL season started this week. Week 1 is done. So what NFL team surprised you the most this week?
Oh man, I gotta just bring up, the Bears.
Okay.
And just because it holds a lot of real estate in my heart, just being a Chicago Bears fan and knowing that they had us dead last.
The worst roster in the NFL. That's what they call it.
We had the worst roster. People calling Justin Fields to demand a trade. People creating false narratives about our team, trying to divide us and shit. Nobody had us picked to win, and we got it done. And now they're just saying it was a fluke. They're saying it was a monsoon, and
they're saying they can't use. That's not a good game to.
They act like it was only rated when Trey Lance
excuses. They're like, are the Niners overrated? And it's like,
well, if you're gonna give the man excuses, at least acknowledge that the other people have access to those same excuses. The other team,
right? We all got the same. We all on this slippery, slagging ass field. We all in the fucking rain. yeah.
But practically, I mean, I genuinely thought we had a chance just because I follow the team and I know people were saying that we have the worst offensive line. And I looked at the film. I watched every preseason game. Okay, I watched each rep. And I didn't see that bad. I didn't see the number 32 ranked offensive line in the NFL. I didn't see, people missing blocks crazy. I saw a 5th round pick in Braxton Jones that was able to sit and punch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Was able to hold his own. He had great technique. I just saw all of it. So me looking at the film and breaking it down and then recognizing that our offensive line isn't that bad. It's not good, but it's not that bad.
Right.
And we also have a quarterback who is a magician.
Athletic ability, crazy.
Yes. I don't think we've ever seen anything close to the combination of speed and throwing ability. He's got some
Mitch was there.
Issues. He's got some Justin's got some learning to do from just sitting in the pocket and being composed and being able to slice up defenses. But I say all that to say I thought we had a real shot at winning.
Yeah, me too. And I picked him to win. Jaden didn't.
And we needed a lot of cover. We needed a lot of things to go right, which when we were able to put together a defensive performance that we hadn't seen in Chicago in at least 4 years.
Man,
2018.
They didn't score in the fourth quarter. So.
Eddie Jackson had an interception too. Damn near took it to the crib.
It was amazing. But like I said, I say that to say I didn't necessarily think it to be the most surprising win, just because I genuinely felt like we had a shot. Now the most surprising win, obviously, we talking about Geno, right? We're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. They just everybody's talking about the AFC West like it's just the gauntlet, the Goliath that nobody wants to play. But listen to me, Geno got in that motherfucker. Geno, good job back and started.
Geno, the best quarterback in that division.
Oh man, no, but didn't it look just oddly comfortable, just oddly efficient for as far as Geno Smith and
Geno looked really good.
He looked more, he looked great and
looked really good.
And I think you combine that with 2 very, very elite wide receivers.
Yes.
When Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, and then you couple that with an explosive tight end and Noah Fant. I mean, you looking at offense that could probably average 25 points a game, 30 points.
And Rashad Penny, bro. This guy is
Kenneth Walker. Whenever he
freight
comes
train
through.
on wheels. Rashad Penny, bro. We played against him at San Diego State. His big ass was returning kicks I think he led the nation in
he was 240
return yardage, average yards per return, bro. He was.
Could you imagine tackling?
He's
dude
fast
on
as hell. Yeah, fun fact. One of our linebackers poked his ass in the eye. He got suspended. He had to apologize.
Captain Insano. Captain Insano.
Captain
no mercy now.
Captain Insano. He took it to the crib on us at 240, 6'2".
We talked about the Bears doing their thing. Let's talk a little more about the 49ers and some of their struggles. Now, so Trey Lance playing the game he played, Jimmy G's still on that team. So do you think at some point they go back to Jimmy G in this season?
Well, I mean, everything coming out of the 49ers camp just seems so, I don't know, politically correct. They're kind of trying to cover the bases and make sure that people, they're trying to put out a narrative that people should just calm down and stuff like that. But I don't think it's time for them to calm down. I think it's time for them to make a switch.
Time for them to break glass.
Because you're looking at a quarterback that has literally not shown any NFL talent ever. You're talking about
he's shown flashes, but
you've seen some flashes.
Well, shit, I could go out there and show some flashes. He's the best offensive lineman to ever. He's got the best left tackle to ever play the game. He's got the best Swiss Army knife at running back / wide receiver.
Best play caller
ever. He's got the best play caller. He's got a great
best
wide receiver, number 2 guy, and
great defense too.
Great tight end. Great defense. I mean, dude from 49ers looked like Palomalu out there. I don't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna combine that with a Bears team that is starting a 5th round overall left tackle. We have a 3rd round running back who I believe could be a Pro Bowler. We'll see.
No question.
But you just look at the talent versus talent, and then you try to justify why Trey Lance lost that game. It's like, no, we found a way to win with our guy, and you couldn't do it with your guy.
Okay, I like that.
You couldn't do it with your guy. So I mean, we're talking about a guy that was picked number 1 overall, traded 3 first-round picks for him. But I really cannot figure out what he has done to earn that. Earn,
that's a fact.
Justin Fields got a better arm. He's faster, a lot faster. He's bigger. He's stronger. He's got national championships under his belt. He's never lost a Big Ten game. He's never lost a Big Ten game.
Arguably the best Ohio State quarterback ever.
Arguably.
All time. Yeah.
And he's coming from a lineage where Ohio State quarterbacks have not had very much success in the NFL.
As a pure
Can you name one? Can you name one in the NFL from Ohio State? Same thing with
recent memory. Hell no.
Same thing with Alabama. Can you name one?
We'll see if.
But anyway, Tua we will see what. And Mac Jones did his thing last year. But
Mac Jones, they just got that ass tapped.
Yeah, but like I was saying earlier with Jacob, it's like you can't overreact to the first game, but you also have to read the writing on the wall.
Right. The point is, like, great. He had all the weapons necessary. It was an equal playing field. Both teams had to deal with the same experience. Although, the Bears, we're more accustomed to that type of weather, but that's just a bullshit excuse. The point is, great players find a way to win.
And Justin Fields did that.
But I wouldn't even say that. It rains more in San Francisco than it does in Chicago. They get more rain than Chicago. Anyway.
That's an interesting point. We'll give you that one.
Anywho, yeah, but you're talking about Justin Fields was taken 11th overall. And you got to admit, or you got to recognize that he was just playing with a different level of swagger.
He was the only second-year quarterback to win this week too.
Oh, is that right? I didn't even know that.
He was the only second-year quarterback to win.
Yeah.
Mac Jones
definitely seemed very decisive. Like when he ran, he was like, all right, I'm gone type shit. And then when he was in the pocket, it felt like he was comfortable, albeit they were getting to him early in the game.
Right, exactly. And that's what playmakers do. And you recognize sort of those who watch the game, you recognize how they would literally call QB power for Trey Lance. They would call running plays for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
He would have running lanes to run through, but he was too busy tiptoeing. He was too busy. It seemed as if he was unsure of himself the entire game.
Yeah.
And anybody that has ever played football knows that is a bad sign.
I couldn't have been more confident that he wasn't going to do shit those last couple of drives. I was like, I know for a fact this guy is not capable of playing in these conditions.
Yeah, you could feel the confidence when he was playing.
Yeah, he couldn't even get the ball close to these receivers. So at the end of the game, a lot of people are giving him the excuse like, oh, we're not gonna base you overreact or underreact based on your performance because of the weather. Whereas, okay, well, we still need to get our motherfucking flowers and be recognized that we can compete with anybody on any Sunday.
But it's also, we also can't do the other thing and just say we going to the Super Bowl now. I mean,
right.
We still got a lot of work to do. We got some young some young DBs out there. And Brisker's a baller. Same with Kyler Gordon, but
yeah, Gordon too.
Being young is a detriment.
Yeah.
To defense.
Especially with some of these veteran quarterbacks like Brady and Matthew Stafford, who
it's gonna be bad.
I know exactly what the fuck you're doing before you like your tails, you can't even disguise the shit right. You're so young.
But what's nice about but what's nice about the Bears defense is that we are extremely simple. We are not. We don't. If you notice, we don't blitz a lot. We don't run a lot of zone blitzes. We're not running corner blitzes. We're not trying to mix up. We're not. I wish we would have Roquan do a little bit more radar, which for those who don't know what radar is, if they have a play action pass, they have a play action pass, and they have a tight end that does an over route. That will linebacker has to turn his ass around, regardless of what the QB doing, regardless of what's going on in the backfield, and find that over route. And that's just what we haven't practiced. That's just what we haven't done in the past. I mean, but if you run in a quarter system or you run in a cover 2 system, that's just imperative to success.
Now, so we talked about quarterbacks getting the job done no matter what the circumstances is. One quarterback didn't do that, and that was Aaron Rodgers against the Vikings. So what do we think about that game? Is it an overreaction to say the Vikings should be the favorite in the NFC North now, looking at the Packers and how they struggle?
Yeah. First of all, I just love when people are comparing this year to last year and saying how the Packers got their ass kicked against the Saints in week 1 last year, which is facts, which is true, but you have to throw into the fact that they don't have anybody to throw the ball to. They have wide receivers.
They don't have nobody
with literally nobody covering them, dropping the ball. It is ungodly. Those ungodly mistakes that happen are going to frustrate Aaron Rodgers to the point of division. It's going to create a lot of division in between the QB room and the wide receiver room, and I don't see them winning the North this year at all. And I think this is my prediction that the Vikings. I'd like the Bears to win the North, but I gotta admit that the Vikings look really fucking good.
If they can stay healthy too, they're gonna be a problem.
I think they were a coach away too, because Zimmer was there for a very long time, and they've always had the talent for this last generation they've had.
They've always had the talent.
From top to bottom, defense and offense. They've been talented. So I think they were a coach away. But Kirk Cousins, that's a guy, us as Bears, we definitely have
his
an
number
advantage against his ass. Like we always play them well, regardless of
for sure
around them, especially when it gets cold out.
For sure. I say everybody in the North, aside from the Lions, because I don't think they're a good football team still.
They took the Eagles to the end. They look decent.
Yeah, but I just feel like they just find ways to lose. And they took people to the head last year. They took a lot of people to the head last year. They took the Packers to the head last year. But I think everybody in the North, aside from the Lions, will split. And then you're going to have a very interesting December.
Okay. Hey, people were saying we're the worst division even before the season started.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, I think the AFC West, well, that's with the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Chargers.
The Colts division,
Broncos.
I think, is the worst right now, possibly, looking at.
Colts division is worse. And you could say maybe Patriots, Miami. Well, they got the Bills. Never mind.
What's the Bucks
Miami
one?
Bucks and the Saints are good.
The Panthers are decent. Baker?
Panthers, the Falcons competed. It's too early to tell, but right now Seattle is leading the NFC West. Geno,
who would have thought?
Hey,
they had Seattle. If they had us 32, they had them 33 in the league.
Man, I mean, look at that game. Talking about tonight's game, like it was ridiculous. They could not function. They couldn't have one single play without the crowd affecting the play. Every single play, they were almost having to delay a game. And you've seen it, the plays they fumbled on the goal line were plays they rushed to the line, barely got the snap off, so Russ is handing them the ball like not secure at all. Then the O-lineman getting blown the fuck up because everybody's going on the same fucking count. We're all looking at the ball, so there's no advantage for the offense. So they just getting their shit pushed in, and hell is breaking loose. But Seattle the Broncos had every chance, and they just made Seattle's defense look outstanding. And I don't know if it was bad Broncos offense or great Seattle defense.
The Seattle defense is not great. I don't even think they're good, especially if Jamal, what's his name, is
Adams.
out. Yeah. Jamal Adams is out.
Oh, he got hurt again, I think.
He got hurt the first quarter.
When you use your body as a weapon, it's gonna.
he's a great player. He can't.
It's gonna have its impact.
I mean, he is the worst. He has the worst hands of any DB I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, he broke a pass up and he doing this and shit like he was for the catch.
It hit him in the face.
Niggas like that be hoping it's out of their reach so it look better than what it is. Like you don't want to catch that ball because you about to drop it.
It hit him in the face. Like, come on now.
How does this look for the Broncos now, though? Because the AFC West, the margin of error is so slim. You need every game you can get. Now, Chiefs won, Chargers won. How does it look for the Broncos losing to Seattle?
I always thought the Broncos were overrated. I always thought the concept of Russ being bad in Seattle, because he was bad. He was not.
He does make some bad mistakes.
He was not Russ in that last year Seattle. There's a reason why there was an incentive to get him out of there. But even when he was in the game, it was just not. His passer rating was well below his average.
True.
I mean, we're talking about when you give Russ, I don't even want to go in the Russ slander because I think he's one of the best quarterbacks to do it.
He's a great guy too.
But when you also look at the defense he had, when you look at the running game he had in those years, he went to the Super Bowl. I mean, and he was he is the ultimate sort of game winner. Like he's a winner. You know what I'm saying? So like when he lost that, I feel like he lost it. And you just don't have it no more. And that's another hot take.
Well.
Yeah. He did his thing. But he didn't play better than Geno.
I mean, come on now. They had let's be honest. 2015 Russ, he gets 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter.
That's automatic.
And he has to go 60 yards down the field to get a field goal. And he couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
He had to that Boswell or whatever his name would hit a almost 70-yard field goal for them to win. I mean, that's not Russ. And I don't think he's Russ anymore. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think they're gonna be that good.
That's a hot take. He had 100 one-on-one passer rating. I mean, he threw for 340 in a tud.
He was efficient.
I think it's just the first game. You got to gel. They had very little preseason experience.
I'm basing this off of Russ's last 10, 12 games he's played in the NFL.
So it was a bad loss tonight, though, for him.
He did have a bad year last year, but a lot of it he was hurt. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think we can count the Broncos out. I think they could have very easily won this game by more than what they were projected to.
Yeah, it's a long season. You're right. It's a long season.
17 games.
49ers were asked at the beginning of the year last year, and they went to the NFC Championship. I mean,
right.
You never know what's going to happen.
Now, so let's go to the other AFC West team, the Chiefs. Now, the first game, Tyreek Hill, that move was supposed to drop this offense so much, and the talent was supposed to be down a little. It was supposed to decrease. But Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns with all the receivers and the new weapons he has. Travis Kelce did his thing. So what do we think about this Chiefs team now?
Well, I just think it goes back to my original sentiment is that, wide receivers don't make quarterbacks. It's the other way around. Same thing with everything else. I mean, it's similar to, an offensive line makes a running back. It's not the other way around. Yeah, you need a great offensive line to have a good running back. I mean, you can break all the tackles you want, but somebody go get your ass down. Same thing with wide receiver. I mean, you could be as wide open as possible, and you could be always open, and you can never drop a ball. But if your quarterback doesn't know how to read the field, doesn't know how to go from progression to progression, doesn't know how to flip his hips, doesn't know how to evade pressure. I mean, there's no, you need one to have the other. So
I agree.
Like when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes who is just comfortable like doing him and just scoring 5 touchdowns at will, throwing 5 passing touchdowns. You know how hard it is to throw 5 passing touchdowns?
Man, he had a phenomenal game.
It's a little easier when you're allowed to throw 60 passes a game, but when you have a team that's what they're built on, I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to stop, and their defense looks better, a lot better.
Yeah, they do look nice.
Patrick Mahomes, he threw for 30. Completed 30 out of his 39 passes.
Damn. Efficient as fuck.
That's ridiculous. And
slinging that motherfucker.
Yeah. We won't see another dude like him for a while.
Now, how do you think they compare to Buffalo after week 1? Buffalo looked damn near the best team in the AFC.
Buffalo might be the best team in the NFL in a long time. And I think it just goes. I think it's built and it's derived from how last year ended.
Mm-hmm.
You go on a team where you have a quarterback that literally fights tooth and nail and doesn't get an opportunity to win that game in the end. I mean, that's why they changed the rule. They changed the rule for that game. And you have a team now that is just inspired. I mean, you look at them; they're just different.
Even Von Miller too.
Offensively, Von Miller looks like his second year in the league. I mean, he looks like Super Bowl MVP Von. So
now
we'll see what happens.
Tom Brady, the Bucs. That game was exciting. There was a lot of a motivation for that game. Jaden had picked the Cowboys to win that game. And we're keeping the receipts.
Did you pick one good game? Got people covering and shit,
But now, looking at Cowboys, Dak Prescott's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks now. So he's supposed to come back either the Bears game or the Packers game. You think they should just cancel the season? How do you feel about the Cowboys now after that injury? Cooper Rush is going to be their quarterback.
Cowboys.
Colin.
Or Cam Newton.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to give you a better chance to win.
I mean, the Cowboys they like to look good. They don't like to be good. They don't.
Right.
They like to have the $20 million running back. They like to have one of the best offensive line in the world, but they don't like to run the ball well. They don't like to have great defense, and it's just
be disciplined, do the small things.
Small things, right? And you gotta have a coach that's different, and they don't have a coach that's different. You got a regular coach,
and you got an owner that's involved in all meetings. He making decisions. He the GM. He the motherfucker. He making strategy decisions and shit.
I would say that's
he's way too hands-on.
That problem is akin to the problem in Chicago a little bit.
Question.
Where you have just ownership that just don't know what the hell they're doing, and that everything starts with ownership.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I would argue why the Packers have been good for the last 30 years is because they don't have an owner. They don't have pride leading the way into destruction or whatever you call it, however you want to define it. They don't have somebody that cannot let go of the hands and steering wheel of the team because they want to maintain tradition. They want to relive the glory days and so forth. So that's what we have going on. And Jerry Jones, he means well. He wants to get the best players to have the best team, but just something ain't working. Something ain't working.
Man. And you look at the last time they won, that's when they had a coach that was the alpha of their organization. He was the head of it. And that's the reason why he left, was because Jerry didn't like that shit. That's what happened.
Yeah, Jerry Jones, like I said, Jerry Jones means well. He wants the best players, but conversely, the Bears, they don't want good players. They just think
they want cheap players.
So, like, historically speaking, we just want players. We'll just get whatever players, and we just think we'll win just because we're the Bears, because we won the Super Bowl in '85. It's like ridiculous, but we'll see where it goes from here. I like where we're going. The Bears are definitely going to win more games than the Cowboys. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
it's not a hot take
with this industry. I mean, injury.
Now, so I'm going to give you two guys. Two guys had a great game week one. Which one do you think is going to be in the top 5 conversation again? Top 5 running back, top 5 receiver. Michael Thomas had 2 touchdowns. He did his thing. Saquon Barkley had 164 yards rushing. Which player is going to get back to that top 5 conversation this season? Who's going to have the better year?
Who's going to have the better? Well, who's going to be top 5? Because I think they both can be top 5. And I don't think that question is mutually exclusive.
Okay.
Meaning that, that both can be true. But if I were to say who's going to have the better year, I think Saquon is.
He looked good in that first game.
He's got some people to prove wrong.
Yeah.
What did Jameis said? People write me off, but I just didn't write back. That's the same thing with Saquon. Everybody is writing Saquon off. everybody had him probably bottom 15 running backs in the NFL.
Right. A lot of guys ain't pick him up.
A lot of guys ain't pick him up, and what are we gonna sit up here and look at a guy who probably one of the most talented, one of the most explosive running backs we have seen in the NFL.
No question.
And I can't think of a more explosive running back in the history of the NFL.
He is explosive.
Like from a weightlifting perspective, like from a numbers perspective, from a 40
I would
perspective.
say Nick Chubb is up there too, and then obviously the guy
Nick Chubb is
me.
for sure up there, but Nick Chubb
is
Jackson. Nick Chubb is 6'1", and Nick Chubb didn't run as fast as 40 as him.
Right, but that motherfucker, you seen him squatting.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you also seen Saquon's powerlifting or power cleaning.
Powerlift 405 or some crazy.
It was much more than 405, but I don't know. I don't think we've ever seen anybody as explosive, and that's probably akin to what's going on. Well, the negative narrative with Christian McCaffrey, which was these guys are so explosive, they just run too hard.
Yeah.
They play too hard. They play literally out of their own wheelhouse of like physical stamina, physical capability. And our bodies clearly were not created to play football. I mean, that's clear, but
no.
we have a situation where it's like, especially if your ACLs are made of paper.
So yeah, some of these guys got those kind of bodies. But now let's get into another game. Bengals, Steelers, Mitch Trubisky. Hey, both quarterbacks, him and Justin Fields, are undefeated now without Nagy to start the season. That's
so
something to mention.
Nagy was the problem.
Hey, everybody's saying it. But Joe Burrow in this game, they paid all the money to get a better offensive line. Still 7 sacks and 4 interceptions. So is much change for the Bengals? I get it's the Steelers and they have a best defensive line, one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. But come on, 7 sacks?
Well,
I know.
That's a game I don't think we should overreact to. I don't think. Yeah, 7 sacks is pretty alarming. But Joe Burrow is a guy that you could probably hang your hat on is going to be playing football long after a lot of teams are not. Meaning he's going to be in the playoff. He's going to be fighting for the AFC Championship. I think when you have a guy like that, you can kind of he's the trump card. Doesn't matter what's wrong with the team, but he's gonna figure it out.
But are you worried at all with him getting sacked this many times?
4 interceptions too.
He got sacked that many times last year.
And do you think that's sustainable?
I think him going to the AFC Championship is sustainable.
In the AFC, with all the teams that are good,
bro. Yeah, he's on pace to.
He's not going to
get sacked.
He's not going to win a Super Bowl with that. He's just not. But he's going to fight for the AFC Championship every year. He just is. And this is similar with what we've seen with Brady. You got dudes that are just maniacal and have to win. If you look at the way he plays football, he's not trying to just play football. It means way much more to him than everybody else on the field. Combined. So when you have a guy like that,
I'm willing to sacrifice my family for the success of this.
Exactly. You see that once or twice a generation. Saw it with Jordan, saw it with Brady. Now you see it with Burrow.
I like that answer. So now, I know we're doing overreactions, whatever. It's week 1. Let's go through the AFC and the NFC. Top 5 most dangerous teams we think after week 1. Let's start with the AFC.
Dangerous. Well, define dangerous. Define. Or are you talking about just the best? Or dangerous is in like the Bears where we can beat anybody we set our mind to because nobody's counting us in. Nobody's thinking we're gonna be good. We're gonna fucking give everybody a game. We're gonna have a magician behind the quarterback going down.
Nah, I think though dangerous contenders, real contenders. The Bears can be in a different conversation because I think
contenders. Okay,
I think they can still make it the playoffs. But
who's dangerous? AFC? Who's scary? Who's surprised you?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, it's top 5 per conference. So let's start with the AFC. This isn't in order because I haven't thought that through yet. But
no, go ahead.
The AFC, I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Okay, Khalil Mack 3 sacks.
Khalil Mack, every time he goes to a new team, it's like he's a fucking new player.
He turned that shit all
the new man. So, Bills, obviously, I would put them number 1 out of all of them. I really like. I'm gonna have to go with the Raiders just because Devontae Adams is that dude.
He had a huge game,
and he can get open at will. Like it's not even an issue for him. And then 5 at AFC, I'm gonna go with the Browns when Deshaun gets back.
They held their own in week 1.
Deshaun's coming back. Better than ever.
I know. Hey, you need one more team. You forgot one more team.
Well, I said the Browns, Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, and Bills.
Oh, Chiefs. Okay.
5.
Okay, cool. What about you, J Huff?
Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Bills. Give me the Ravens.
Big trust.
I'll take the Dolphins.
Ooh.
The Dolphins?
Let's be real.
I said the Chargers.
Yeah.
I said the Chargers already.
Yeah, I think so. The one team I think you're missing is Buffalo. Not to give you a team.
No, I already said Buffalo.
Okay. You said Ravens, Buffalo.
Ravens, Chiefs,
Dolphins.
Chargers, Dolphins.
One more.
And Bills.
Okay. I like that list. I'm thinking. Hey, I don't hate the Browns one because they can hold their own.
Come on now. If they can hold on, but if they can win 7-8 games before Deshaun gets back. Wait, how long is the suspense? Suspense is 11 games, right?
11 games. He'll come back against Houston.
Okay, so if they can win 6 games, 6 or 7 games, they're gonna be a problem.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay,
I think
they can be 6 and 5
because
Deshaun Watson. He's gonna get them to the promised land.
He's taking mental reps in the massage therapy sessions.
He's getting something out of that. But I think with the AFC, it's really the 5 teams, top of the head: Buffalo, Ravens. I really like the Ravens this year. Dobbins, they get a little more healthier. I think Dolphins. That was another one of my choices too. I like the Chargers, and then the Chiefs. So it's really like we got the same list for that one. I think the NFC.
You putting the Dolphins over the Raiders though? Come on.
I mean, the Dolphins won. Tua looked a little different.
They're playing the Patriots.
He's 4-0 against the Patriots too. That's something I had written down on the script. Only person undefeated against Bill Belichick.
Yes. Tua is?
Yeah, he's 4-0 against the Patriots.
No shit, is he?
Look it up.
Yes, he's 4-0.
That's why.
All right, now let's switch over to the NFC. What are we thinking?
Well, NFC.
You can put the Bears on there if you want. I know you want to.
I don't think that would be appropriate.
It's overreaction Monday.
Yeah, I just, even I'm not that crazy, but let's go with the Vikings.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm damn near willing to put them at number 1.
Okay.
I like the Bucks because Brady seems to have Benjamin Button disease or something.
Julio too looked good.
Julio looked great.
Julio's, and they're trying to get him the ball. Trying to see old Julio. They're not trying to bullshit. Too. Yeah, so they're getting Julio going. Let me think. Who else we got? I mean, you got to throw. You can't count. You can't count Rodgers out, and I put in Rodgers in because I just hate. This is contingent on one thing. Mm-hmm. The contingency is if Jimmy Garoppolo starts next game. Or not necessarily the next game, but sooner in the near future. I think if you get Jimmy going week 3, 4, 5, San Francisco's going to kick the Packers out of that top 5 ranking because I think that's either 4 or 5 on that list.
Who's your 5th one then?
Why can't I think of Seattle?
You got Seattle, but not the Bears.
Seattle looks good, man.
We bust Seattle ass in the preseason.
Come on, now.
We did. Geno was playing that game too.
Yeah, that was week 3.
They had people playing in that game that are literally driving trucks right now.
Now what about you,
JL? See truck drivers out there.
Of course not. I doubtfully take the Saints.
I like the Saints.
I'll take. Of course, I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
NFC's tough because you don't know what you're gonna get in the NFC.
Yeah, I think I like the Rams still up there.
I forgot about the Rams. That was my 4 because the 5 and the Packers and the 49ers were like the continue.
So you'll take off the Seahawks then, right? Or are you keeping them on there?
Yeah, they ain't on my list. And then I'll take the Eagles at 5.
Okay.
Although they gave up 14 points in the 4th quarter.
That's just a gritty Lions team. I don't think too much of that game. I think the Lions just stayed 4th quarter. They turned into Dak Prescott and crunch time. Garbage time. I mean, but with my 5, I'm thinking Saints. I think the Bears. I think that you got to put the Bears on there. I don't care.
You got to do that.
You got to.
Go ahead.
He's the magician.
How you got to?
He could put Seattle on. I'll put on the Bears, and then I think the Eagles got to be on there. I think. Well, so I'm missing the Vikings. I like the Vikings.
I forgot the Vikings too. Yeah, Vikings are on my list.
And then it's tough with the 5th one. Looking at this week, but I'll put the 49ers in. They'll get their shit together.
No Buccaneers?
I didn't really see too much from their offensive line too. Once they play somebody like if they play the Steelers.
Who did Jensen play for? Where did he go? Ryan Jensen, the center.
Yeah, he plays
for the Bucks. He got hurt.
But what does he do? Where is he going? I mean, is he out for the season?
I think he tore his ACL or something.
Oh, okay.
It was like a leg injury, but they didn't say if he was out for the season or not yet. Just to hold on.
He's on IR.
Okay.
So he's gonna be on that bitch for a minute.
For sure.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that rounds out my list. I'm not really sold on the Rams no more. I think I need to see him prove it a little more.
Well, I got to put him on my list just because it was just a hangover.
Allen Robinson, Cam Akers, I need to see them do something for me to put.
They're not gonna. You can't expect Allen Robinson to do anything. He's cashed out. He's cashed out his last NFL check, in my opinion.
Okay.
Maybe the Bears were right.
Yeah, Ryan Poles, great decision.
Everything Ryan Poles, literally every step, every move he has made so far, and lack of move that he made has been proven to be
we're having a high success rate.
Every single draft pick that he had, you talk about
contributing.
Is contributing, you know what I'm saying? Like
Brisker.
Everybody, the only move that is questionable, and I don't know whether or not this is necessarily his move, but was the Khalil Mack situation. Because obviously he has a lot more left in the tank.
Yeah, but he probably wanted to play somewhere he can win now, and we're building for the future. We don't want to pay his ass, no way.
Yeah.
Let's get the value out of him, because his value, we'll see, but his value is only getting lower as he gets older.
We only got like a second round and a third round, right?
Yeah. No, I think we only got a second round.
That's a lot.
They're paying his contract too.
His performance wasn't. Yeah, we got him off the books.
Well, we did get Brisker because of it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Gordon.
We were able to build through the draft, which was important.
So
we have
now that I'm looking at the consequences of leaving or sending out Khalil Mack, which being that we got Brisker and Kyler Gordon. See, that's a great move. I would take them two over Khalil Mack any day.
Yeah, we did pass rush wise, we did pretty well, and even
the dude we got from Miami, Ohio, he had a sack in the game
against a really good
offensive line,
against a really good O-line. Yeah, when they cut Mario Edwards, I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
I was a little shocked about that move too.
But clearly they were like, all right, this dude from the 6th round is just as good as this guy. So why are we paying this motherfucker so much money?
Man, and they'll cut your ass so motherfucking quick. They can't wait to get you off the books. We paying a fraction of what we paying your ass for a guy that can do just as
it's
good.
Crazy. You look at the film and you just combine their reps together, and you sit up here and be like, all right, I'm not seeing any discrepancy between what you could do and what you could.
Even if there's a little bit of drop off, you mean I could pay him exponentially less, and he's a young guy that I can build a mold.
You're a rookie. Come on now,
get the fuck out of here. That's the ugly part of the business. Is even if he was a little bit less better than him, the fact that the pay would be so much easier on the Bears.
Right.
Ryan Poles. At the end of the day, it's an ROI discussion. Like, all right, my return on investment is going to be way higher with him because I'm paying him less and he's younger.
Yeah.
Get more years out of him.
And Ryan Poles said it. Everybody wants us to go after a name. Like, you want us to pick the best thing since sliced bread, or like whatever is popping in the moment from that perspective, from the whole NFL. But it's like
free agency and shit.
We had a really hard time doing that with the previous regime with Ryan
Pace.
Ryan Pace.
He's doing that with the Falcons too now, getting all the Bears people.
We got a great name in Jimmy Graham. That was a great name. What the fuck was he? What the hell did he do for us?
Man,
except steal $20 million.
Post up in the end zone and shit.
But now, right before we end the show, I think I'll give a hot take. So for my hot take, I think you guys are gonna like this one. The Bears Sunday night get a dub. They go in to Green Bay. It's at Green Bay, right?
Yep, it's in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay. We go to Lambeau and we get the dub. I think with the Packers, looking at what they have, they can't trust any of those receivers, any of the young ones. Sammy Watkins is a little washed. So is Randall Cobb. I think they get the dub. I think they have enough.
Listen to me. If we go into Lambeau on Sunday night under the lights with the whole nation watching, and we win that game, we're not only going to win the North.
We're going to the Super Bowl, baby.
But they're gonna have to start building some statues for
Justin
Fields already.
Arguably the greatest Chicago Bear quarterback ever, just off the talent.
Because that just means he's a winner.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what the stat line looks like, you know, just like what I was talking about with Russell Wilson. He was the X factor because he knew how to win games.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo even too. He wins games.
He wins games.
Hate it or love it, he wins games.
Hate it or love it, but you know, the stat line could look whatever it wants to look like. But it's at the end of the day, this is a team game, and I think that quarterbacks probably get too much of the credit and too much of the blame for wins. But you have to look at, okay, if we go into Lambeau and we win, yeah, there's going to be some serious economy shifting in Chicago.
Eberflus will win the Coach of the Year award
just off the first two games.
I think he's already on track to do that.
No question.
Now what you got for us? Hot take of the week, then, Julian.
Hot take of the week, and this isn't just post. I think Jaden can vouch for this. This isn't just post us beating San Francisco, the Bears beating San Francisco. I really felt like this before the season. I said that we're going to win a playoff game this year. I still believe it.
Okay, I like that.
And it's probably going to be in the wild card round. We're going to maybe have to deal with the Packers or the Minnesota and the divisional. But I think we can get in the wild card, and I think we can win that game.
Shit, we couldn't name five dangerous teams in the NFC. It took us a minute.
No, the NFC is wide open. So I think
it's wide open, those last two spots. So
if we line up with Philly, we're winning that game.
You think so?
You think so?
I know so.
I mean, I like our odds too. Yeah, that'd be 50-50. But I don't think that's a hot take, Julian. I don't think that's a hot take.
Are you on a hotter take?
No. But it's good. I think we can post that one. People share their opinion on it. Are you crazy? Got them going to a playoff game, but nah. So before we head out, song of the week. We mentioned PNB, passed away sadly today. So I'll give for my song of the week, I'll probably put Selfish, one of the first songs I dedicated to my fiance. So that's got to be up there on the PNB list.
Great song.
What you got for us, Jade?
Yeah, man. Definitely got to stick with PNB. I mean, one of my favorite songs is that song him and Kodak did with
Too Many Years?
Too Many Years, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I love that song.
Definitely play that on your way to work or right before bed. And just, be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, tomorrow ain't guaranteed.
Shit. What about you, Julian? What you got for song of the week? It don't got to be PNB. It could be whatever you've been feeling, been bumping on the pods.
Right. Let me think. Probably one of my favorite artists is Polo G.
Okay.
Okay.
I think he's up there with, and this is a hot take as well, but I think he's up there with Baby and Gunna.
I think he is too, talent wise. Yeah, he can do everything they can.
But I'm blanking on his song that I'm a huge fan of.
You good? Take your time.
Finer Things.
Finer Things. Yeah, that's a good song. That's a good one. One of his first ones he dropped too. So you must be a diehard.
I'm a big Polo G fan. Finer Things is one of my favorite joints on that Die Legend album.
Yes, sir. That's a great way to end the show. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Check out the check out the Instagram, check out the Twitter, 6Man Blitz. Check out the podcast too. If you haven't been tapping in, this is your first episode watching. It's all the shit on YouTube, all the shit on the Instagram, the reels. TikTok. We on it all.
Yeah,
so
you need more reels. Set up some more reels to me.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm gonna chop this episode up, and there's a lot of shit I can post from this episode. A lot of shit we've been saying. A lot of shit you've been saying. Yeah. Right. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. As always, peace.